Her laughter cut through me sharper than the shattered glass. My brand-new car sat mangled in the driveway, hood crumpled like paper. She leaned against the porch railing, arms crossed, eyes glinting with mischief. "Mom and Dad will make you forgive me," she smirked, the words dripping with smug certainty. "My name is Elena Carter. I'm 25. And if you think you know how this ends, stay tuned. Have you ever watched someone destroy what you worked your bones to earn, and then smile as if you owed them your silence?" I could still smell the leather from the dealership, the one thing in my life that was purely mine. Every down payment, every late-night shift, every meal skipped to save, it was parked there, bent and broken under her careless hands. She flicked her hair back, as if this was nothing more than a prank. Inside, I could hear my parents already rehearsing their script. "She's your sister, Elena. Accidents happen. Family comes first." I knew the lines by heart. They always came first, and I was always the one asked to fold. But this time was different. My fingers trembled, not with fear, but with the weight of the thin folder I had tucked into my jacket. The insurance report. My name was on the title. My money bought the coverage. Every clause, every responsibility, pointed back at her. She thought she owned the ending. She had no idea I was holding the rewrite. The living room was staged like a courtroom before I even stepped inside. Mom perched on the couch with folded arms, Dad pacing the rug as though his verdict mattered more than the truth. And there she was, my sister, sprawled in the armchair, legs crossed, a smug half-smile that told me she thought the trial was already won. "Elena, sit," Dad ordered, his tone fine but rehearsed. "Your sister made a mistake. We're family. We don't hold grudges over accidents." Accidents. My voice cracked like a whip. She took my keys while I was at work. She drove without a license. She totaled my car before the ink was even dry on the paperwork. My sister rolled her eyes. "You're so dramatic. Mom and Dad already said you'll forgive me. That's what family does." Family. The word tasted bitter. Family had always been code for, you pay the price so she doesn't have to. Mom chimed in softly, but the softness cut deeper than shouting. "Sweetheart," she didn't mean it. "We'll help you save up for another car. Let's just move forward." I felt heat rising in my chest, but I stayed silent, watching the three of them circle wagons around her like bodyguards. My sister smiked wider. Sure she'd won. Sure I'd cave, just like every other time. My hand brushed the folder in my lap. The weight of truth steadied me. For the first time, they had no idea what was about to hit them. I placed the folder on the coffee table slowly, deliberately, like a dealer sliding a final card across the felt. The smirk on my sister's face didn't flicker, yet. "What's that?" Mom asked, her brows knitting. "Reality," I said. My voice didn't shake this time. I opened the folder and spread the papers one by one, the purchase receipt, the title under my name, and then, front and center, the insurance report. Dad leaned forward, scanning. "Insurance?" "Yes," I replied calmly. "Comprehensive coverage. And here's the part you'll love. Driver at fault. My sister." I tapped the highlighted line with my finger. "It means she is financially responsible for every cent of damage. Every dent, every dollar." The smirk faltered. "No," my sister stammered, trying to laugh it off. "No, they won't make me." They already did. I slid the notice of claim across the table. "The company called me this morning. They confirmed. Since the policy is under my name, and since you were the unauthorized driver, they'll be billing you directly." Her face drained of color. Mom gasped. Dad's jaw clenched. "You," my sister sputtered, her voice cracking for the first time. "You can't make me pay." "Mom." "Dad, tell her." Mom's lips parted, but no words came. Dad looked from her to me, and for once, he didn't rush to protect her. The silence was louder than shouting. My sister's smile, the one that mocked me, finally collapsed. Her chair scraped hard against the floor as she jumped up, pointing a trembling finger at me. You set me up. You wanted this to happen. I didn't flinch. No, I wanted a car. You wanted control. And now, you get the bill. Dad rubbed his temples, pacing faster, like maybe he could walk himself into a solution. Elena, maybe there's another way. Can't you just withdraw the claim? Keep it in the family. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Do you even hear yourself? She stole my keys, wrecked my car, and mocked me to my face. And your first thought is protecting her, again. Not this time. Mom tried to intervene, her voice syrupy sweet. Honey, you've always been the stronger one. Can't you just let this go? For us. Stronger one. Translation, the disposable one. The dependable one. The one who bends until she breaks. I leaned back, meeting my sister's wide, panicked eyes. You thought Mom and Dad could erase this for you. You thought they'd cover the mess like always. But the truth is, they can't. Not this time. It's your name on the report. Your debt. Your consequence. Her lips trembled, eyes darting between the three of us, waiting for a rescue that wasn't coming. For the first time, the silence of my parents spoke louder than all their years of favoritism. The air thickened. A storm was coming, but not for me. The storm broke in her voice. I don't have money for this, she cried, fists clenched at her sides. You know I don't. You're ruining my life, Elena. I tilted my head, the way she always did when mocking me. Funny, that's exactly what you did when you put my car into a streetlight and then laughed about it. Her panic turned to desperation. Mom, Dad, please, tell her you'll fix this. Sell something, borrow, I don't care. Just make it go away. Dad stopped pacing. His shoulders sagged with something I hadn't seen before. Defeat. We can't, he muttered. Not this time. Her eyes widened. What do you mean you can't? You've always. Mom's face crumpled, and for once, she looked at me instead of her. Your father's right. The insurance company won't let us take this on. It's legally binding. The words seemed to echo around the room. My sister's lips parted, but no sound came out. The smugness that had lived on her face like a second skin was stripped away, leaving only fear. I gathered the papers, sliding them neatly back into the folder. Actions have consequences, I said quietly. I've learned that the hard way my whole life. Now, so will you? The silence that followed wasn't just uncomfortable, it was seismic. A fault line had cracked open in the middle of our family, and nothing would ever sit the same way again. She collapsed back into the chair, hands clutching her temples. This isn't fair, she whispered, rocking slightly. You're supposed to be my sister. I studied her, this girl who had been shielded, excused, protected her whole life. Sisters don't steal from each other. Sisters don't gloat when they cause pain. You wanted me to play the forgiving fool. I'm done playing that role. Her eyes darted up, wet with tears now. But I'll lose everything. My credit, my job. I cut in, sharper than glass. Maybe then you'll finally know what it feels like to lose something you worked for. Mom reached for my arm, her voice shaking. Elena, please, maybe we can negotiate with the company. Maybe if you drop the claim. I pulled away. This isn't about the company. This is about me finally choosing myself. You always taught me to forgive her, no matter what she did. But forgiveness without accountability isn't forgiveness. It's surrender. And I'm not surrendering anymore. Dad let out a long breath, sinking into the couch. For once, he didn't try to argue. He just stayed at the floor, like he finally understood the cost of years spent excusing her. My sister's sobs filled the silence, breaking against the walls that once felt like prison bars to me. Now, those bars were hers to face. I stood, folder in hand, my voice low but steady. This time, the wreckage is yours to carry. The next week, the phone calls began. My sister's voice, once dripping with mockery, now cracked under the weight of panic. "They want $18,400, she whispered one night, as if saying the number out loud made it more real. "I don't have that kind of money. Elena, please, help me." I remembered the smack on her lips as she leaned against the porch, telling me Mom and Dad would make me forgive her. I remembered the sting of every dismissal, every sacrifice I had made that was brushed aside. That memory steadied me. "You should call the insurance company," I said, my tone calm, detached. "They'll explain your payment plan." Her breath hitched. "You're really going to let them ruin me? After everything?" "After everything," I repeated. "Yes." She hung up on me, and I let the silence ring like a final verdict. At home, my parents avoided the subject, tiptoeing around the fracture they'd never seen coming. But I noticed the shift, the way Dad's eyes lingered on Milonga, the way Mom's voice softened when asking about my day. Guilt had finally carved its way into their walls of denial. For once, I wasn't the invisible one. For once, they were forced to see me not as the background character, but as someone who could change the entire story. The balance of power had shifted, and she knew it. They all knew it. Weeks later, the house was quieter than I had ever known it. My sister stopped coming around, buried under bills and calls she could no longer ignore. The girl who once gloated in every victory now dodged her own shadow. One evening, Mom sat across from me at the kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea gone cold. "We should have protected you, too," she murmured. Her eyes were tired, her voice thin. All those years, we thought keeping peace meant letting her win. But we see it now. I didn't answer right away. I traced the rim of my own cup, letting the silence breathe. For the first time, it didn't feel suffocating. It felt like space I had earned. Dad finally looked me in the eye. "You did the right thing." She needed to learn. And so did we. The words landed like a weight lifted off my chest. Not a perfect apology, but enough to mark a shift. Enough to remind me that standing my ground had power. Later, I walked outside, the cool night air brushing against my skin. The driveway was empty where my car once stood, but I smiled. It wasn't about the car anymore. It was about finally reclaiming the part of me that refused to be silenced. My sister's smirk had been replaced with silence. My parents' excuses replaced with reflection. And my voice, my choice, finally stood taller than all of them.